Hey man, welcome back to Man Time. Today's episode, I was trying to get some welding done, and wouldn't you know it, my Miller D2 broke down. Let's see if we can get it fixed and figure out the problem and get back to welding. Welcome to Man Time. Well, just like almost every project around here, I am using tools that are not new. Old tools are typically, the best tools. And it's funny, when I bought this welder, I got it for a really fantastic deal. But, I mean, it's used, abused. It's probably been all over East Texas, oil rig welding and who knows what, right? It's got 2,200 hours on it. I'm trying to get all this I-beam welded up. And I go to, adjust the fine adjust, which is the most commonly used knob on the machine, to go from 100% to grinding and using the 115. And then going back and using it for welding, you adjust it back and forth. Each time you have to go back and forth. So, when I got the machine, the guy ended up telling me that he replaced it. And once you know it, that's the part that's failed. Let's get in here and take a look on the machine at what I'm talking about. Okay, so here is the machine. And I know it's hard to see, but that is a diesel engine. And coming around here, you've got your big power source. Some big lugs, and then of course on the front here you have got kind of your coarse adjustment and then your fine adjustment. So this sets the range between these values here, and then this one is 0 to 100% within that range. So this ended up like, all right, so I went to start grinding. And I hit this all the way over to 100, and it must have been like a dead spot or something. So then I kind of moved it over a little bit, and it started working. But I was like, what the heck is going on? It felt kind of loose and wobbly. So what did I do? I wang it back and forth, and then it's just going to flopping around like that, right? So I grabbed some tools. There was a panel on the side of it here. And I don't know how well we're going to be able to see, but I'll try to get my flashlight in here to show you what's going on. But way up there is a brand new, way up there is a brand new, well, you can kind of see it. You can kind of see it through there. But yeah, there's one new part on this machine, and it failed. So let's see if we can figure out why it failed. Alright, so I was able to get up in there and see a brush hanging off of this thing. And what happened was there is a ceramic bit in the middle of it there that failed. So, let's see if we can remedy this solution. I know nobody's going to have that in town. It's coming up on a holiday weekend here. And there's probably some stores open, but nobody's going to have that, right? So what other solution do we have to continue welding without having to run into town? All right, so have you thought about it? What would you do in this situation? You have got a part that is not probably going to be available. There was, let's see here. I think I'm missing another part of this thing, actually. I don't think I have all the pieces. So I'll get back in there and kind of dig around and look. But yeah, so there's a recess in this ceramic. Man, this is just not a good design. Yeah, there's a recess in there, and I'm missing a piece of it. So, what would you do though? It's a holiday weekend or whatever, just the weekend, and none of the welding supply stores are going to be open. You need to get a welding job done. What would you do? So I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to find some Delrin, take some measurements of this, take some measurements of that shaft, get on the lathe, and start machining. Let's get after it. Okay, so basically what we've got here is just a little cylinder, right? We've got a little cylinder, and it has got to fit onto the shaft in there. It is ID 250, right? That's the shaft. And then the shaft has like a little prong sticking out of it. So this has a little prong recessed into it. Now, we're not going to worry about that with Delrin or UHMW plastic. We're just going to shove it on there and make that in the plastic when we go to shove it on there. The harder part is going to be this little key where it is keyed in to here. And it's meant to key into here and then go on to that shaft with its key, right? That's the whole point of this convoluted piece of ceramic, which I assume is probably new and made somewhere else. It's hard to say where it's made. It just says Omet Matfog Mac. I don't know. But anyways, when we go to machine this, we're just going to have to machine. We're going to have to machine to this OD with that tab, and then I'll probably have to grab my Dremel tool and Dremel around the majority of it until it fits. Luckily, I've got the mating part. But yeah, I'll just start making some Delrin. Let's do it. Okay, so here is what we've got so far. Let's see if we can make this a little lighter. Yeah, as you can see, it's just a chunk of Delrin, and most people probably aren't going to go to this length. But if you need to make a custom part, the only feasible way to do it is with a lathe like this, taking some measurements as you go. Also having the part, right, that you're going to go back with. So I test fit this. It's going to go on there head first like this, and you can see there it does fit in there. The next part of the puzzle is filing down and getting that recess from this thicker part of the piece of Delrin here, and that's going to be done basically all by hand. Okay, let's just get a look at the whole picture here. So here is the Rheostat, and yeah, this is made in Mexico, Miller. It is a Miller part. Blah 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 blah. You can look at all that stuff there if you want to, and yours is going out. No problem there. Okay, so what we've got here is when it is all the way on max, that is pointing down. Yeah, I mean this thing is, well, okay, there's another part of it in there that's ceramic that is partly, well, mostly the reason for the problem. The ceramic piece in there is broken, and it's got a little tab that comes off of this main shaft that's supposed to stop and have a hard stop on either side, but it's been worn down, and I don't know that there's any way to prevent against that, from over-rotating again. But this part isn't going to break. And now I can figure out what I need to do. Okay, so I think I have solved the puzzle. I need to have this shaft held out as far as possible, right? So I can bypass all of this stuff and go directly from here to here, right? This takes the signal from this wire through this into here, and it does that by making contact all the way around there, right? So in order to do that, it's got to be held all the way down, right? And then as you rotate it, again, held all the way down, rotate it, it sends the signal through these wires and then into here. Yeah. Less and less. But it needs to hold down. And then right there, it stops at 100%. Okay, it is fixed. Ceramics, old. Delrin / UHMW, new. But yeah, the problem being that it's not just wanting to be held forward. don't know why. Okay, no wonder that ceramic didn't hold up very well. Let's put this thing back together in the welder and see if it works. Okay, so I finally figured it out here. The problem is that ceramic gate on that rheostat is broken to where it'll allow it to swing past. But as long as I only go from 100 to not all the way down here, it should work just fine. Let's fire it up and see if the grinder works. Alright, here's the test. I have it just on low idle. I just want to see if something's going to happen. Okay, so here's the deal. There's our rheostat, and I made some fancy marks in here. Because the first time I did it, I went ahead and tried to take it down to 0. The ceramic bit in there that's supposed to stop it from going past 10% and not past 100% is not working. So I can go to 100% and it stops just fine, but I put hard stop on there to never go past 20%, just as an FYI. So, well, that's how it goes when you're using old used up stuff to build your barnuminium, and why this has taken so long. But the reason why I'm able to do this with my wife, we spend money on things that we actually need and tools, but we've kept it a really tight budget on expendable type of stuff and unnecessary type of stuff. Only the essentials, like all of the stuff I needed to weld today, I already had. Right, I had the welder, I had all the welding supplies. We saved up, we bought the I-beam, and I designed it all and all that stuff. But yeah, things like this, man, they can really get you down. But you got to kind of think outside the box and just figure it out one step at a time. But that part is about a $200 part. I saw one available on eBay. So I'm going to make another note on there on the front of that welder saying, I'm worth $200, go easy, or something to that effect, But yeah, that's going to do it for today on Man Time. I'm out of daylight, but I got the welder fixed, and now I can get back to it. Thanks for joining me today on Man Time. Get out there, have you some Man Time too.